There's a bag of rice sitting in just about every kitchen in America and every kitchen in Britain. And most of the time, it just sits there. It gets pulled out as a side dish, scooped onto the plate next to something else, and nobody thinks twice about it. But rice deserves better than that, because rice has been feeding families for thousands of years, and in the right hands, it doesn't just sit next to the meal. It becomes the meal. The 5 rice dishes you're about to hear are exactly that kind of cooking. They're complete meals built around a simple bag of rice, and every one of them has been on dinner tables in America and Britain for generations. They're warm, they're filling, they're gentle on the body, and not a single one of them takes more than 30 minutes to make. One thing worth knowing before we get started is that rice is one of the kindest foods you can eat as you get older. It's naturally low in sodium, which matters when blood pressure is something you're keeping an eye on. It's gentle on the digestion, soft when it's cooked, and it gives your body a steady supply of energy without those sharp spikes that leave you feeling drained an hour later. If you use brown rice, you also get a solid dose of fiber and B vitamins that support everything from your energy levels to your nervous system. But white rice works beautifully too, and honestly, that's what most of us grew up eating, so don't let anyone make you feel guilty about using it. Every recipe on this list makes more than one serving, which means you cook once and eat well for 2 or 3 days. That's not laziness, that's smart cooking. The first rice meal on this list is one that has been feeding American families since the 1950s. And it came from a time when mothers opened the pantry, grabbed what they had, and turned it into something the whole family would eat without complaint. One-pot chicken and rice. This was a church cookbook classic, the kind of recipe that got passed around on handwritten index cards and showed up at potluck suppers and Sunday dinners for decades. You start by heating a tablespoon of olive oil or butter in a large pot or deep skillet over medium heat. Add a diced onion and cook it for about 3 minutes until it's soft. Toss in a clove or 2 of minced garlic and stir it around for 30 seconds. Now add 1.5 cups of long-grain white rice and stir it into the onion and garlic for about a minute so the grains get coated. Pour in 3 cups of chicken broth. Add half a teaspoon of dried thyme, a pinch of salt and pepper, and bring the whole thing to a boil. Once it's bubbling, reduce the heat to low. Cover the pot and let it simmer for about 15 to 18 minutes until the rice is tender and has absorbed the liquid. While that's happening, shred about 2 cups of cooked chicken, and if you're using a rotisserie chicken from the shop, that part takes about 2 minutes. When the rice is done, fold in the shredded chicken and a cup of frozen peas. Put the lid back on for another 3 or 4 minutes until everything is heated through. And that's dinner. 1 pot, 1 burner, 25 minutes. The chicken gives you lean protein that your muscles genuinely need as you get older. The rice provides steady energy, and the peas add fiber and a little bit of iron. If you want to swap in brown rice, just add an extra 10 minutes of cooking time and a little more broth. This is the kind of meal that doesn't try to impress anyone. It just quietly takes care of you. The second rice meal is one that started showing up in American and British homes in the 1960s and 70s, right around the time Chinese restaurants began opening on every other street corner. And families discovered that the fried rice they loved ordering out was something they could make at home with almost nothing. Egg-fried rice. This is the ultimate use what you have recipe. And it works best when you got leftover rice from yesterday sitting in the fridge, because cold rice fries up better than fresh. Heat a tablespoon of vegetable oil in a large skillet or wok over medium-high heat. Add a couple of cloves of minced garlic and about 3 sliced green onions, the white parts first, and stir them around for about 30 seconds. Add a cup of whatever frozen vegetables you have on hand. Peas and carrots are classic. And cook for about 2 minutes until they're warmed through. Push everything to one side of the pan and crack 2 eggs into the empty space. Scramble them right there in the pan until they're just set, then stir them into the vegetables. Add 3 cups of cold cooked rice, breaking up any clumps with your spoon, and toss everything together for about 3 or 4 minutes until the rice is hot and starting to get a little golden on the edges. Drizzle 2 tablespoons of soy sauce over the top. Use the reduced sodium kind. If you're watching your salt, add a few drops of sesame oil if you have it, toss one more time, and scatter the green parts of the onions on top. 15 minutes, one pan, and you have a meal that's filling, flavorful, and surprisingly good for you. The eggs are the quiet heroes here because they give you high-quality protein and a solid dose of vitamin B12, which is something your body absorbs less efficiently as you get older. B12 keeps your energy up and your brain working the way it should. And the beauty of this recipe is that it never comes out the same way twice, because you can add whatever you've got in the fridge, leftover chicken, a handful of spinach, some diced ham, and it always works. The third rice meal is a soup, and it might just be the most comforting thing on this entire list: lemon chicken and rice soup. The Greeks have been making a version of this called avgolemono for centuries, and once you taste it, you'll understand why it survived that long. It starts like any good chicken soup, but what happens at the end transforms it into something silky, bright, and completely unforgettable. Heat a tablespoon of olive oil in a large pot over medium heat. Add a diced onion, a couple of diced carrots, and a stalk or two of sliced celery. Cook for about 5 minutes until the vegetables start to soften. Pour in 6 cups of chicken broth, add a bay leaf and a pinch of dried dill, and bring it to a boil. Add half a cup of rice, white or basmati works best, and let it simmer for about 15 minutes until the rice is tender. While that's cooking, shred about 2 cups of cooked chicken. Rotisserie is perfect for this, and add it to the pot. Now here's the part that makes this soup special. In a bowl, whisk together 2 eggs and the juice of 2 fresh lemons. Take a ladle of the hot broth from the pot and slowly pour it into the egg mixture while whisking. This is called tempering, and it brings the eggs up to temperature gently so they don't scramble. Pour that mixture back into the soup while stirring and watch the broth turn thick, creamy, and glossy right before your eyes. Take it off the heat, season with salt and pepper, and serve it straight away. 30 minutes, 1 pot, and a soup that tastes as if it belongs in a restaurant. From a health standpoint, this might be the best recipe on the list. The warm broth helps with hydration, which is something most older adults don't get enough of. The lemon juice gives you a genuine boost of vitamin C, which supports your immune system and helps your body absorb iron. The chicken provides lean protein, and the warmth of a bowl of soup on a cold evening does something for the spirit that no supplement ever will. The fourth rice meal crosses the Atlantic and lands right in the middle of British culinary history, and it has one of the most fascinating backstories of any recipe you'll ever make: kedgeree. This dish started life in India as khichdi, a humble one-pot meal of rice and lentils that has been eaten on the subcontinent for well over 1,000 years. When officers of the British East India Company arrived in India in the 1600s and 1700s, they fell in love with it, and when they came home to England, they brought the idea with them. By Victorian times, it had been transformed into a smoked fish and rice breakfast that was served in the finest country houses in England. The Ritz London still serves it today. To make it at home, start by poaching about 12 ounces of smoked haddock or smoked cod in a shallow pan of milk over low heat for about 8 minutes until the fish flakes easily. Take the fish out, remove any skin, and flake it into large chunks. Save about half a cup of the poaching liquid. In a separate pot, cook a cup of basmati rice in chicken or vegetable broth according to the packet instructions, about 12 to 15 minutes. While the rice cooks, boil 2 or 3 eggs for about 8 minutes, then cool them in cold water and cut them into quarters. Melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a large skillet, add a diced onion, and cook for 3 or 4 minutes until soft. Stir in a teaspoon of mild curry powder and half a teaspoon of turmeric, and cook for another minute until fragrant. Add the cooked rice and toss it in the curried butter. Fold in the flaked fish, a splash of the poaching liquid, a squeeze of lemon, and some fresh parsley. Lay the egg quarters on top and serve. 25 to 30 minutes for a dish that is both a history lesson and a genuinely outstanding meal. And the health picture here is excellent. The smoked fish gives you omega-3 fatty acids, which support heart health, brain function, and may help reduce inflammation in your joints. The eggs provide protein and B12. The curry powder contains turmeric, which has natural anti-inflammatory properties that researchers have been studying for years. This is one of those rare meals where absolutely everything on the plate is doing something good for your body. The fifth and final rice meal has been loved in both America and Britain for so long that arguing about who makes it better is practically a national sport. Stovetop rice pudding. This isn't a health food, and I'm not going to pretend it is, but sometimes what your body needs most is something that makes your soul feel good. And rice pudding has been doing exactly that for centuries. It's been made in Britain since the 11th century, when rice first arrived via the old trade routes from Asia. In Victorian times, they called it a nursery pudding, the kind of gentle, milky, warm dessert that children and grandparents alike couldn't resist. And it's been a church supper and family dessert staple in America for just as long. To make it on the stovetop, combine half a cup of short grain or pudding rice with 4 cups of whole milk in a medium saucepan. Add 3 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Bring it to a gentle simmer over medium-low heat, stirring often. Once it starts simmering, reduce the heat to low and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes, stirring every few minutes so the rice doesn't stick to the bottom. As it cooks, the rice will absorb the milk, and the whole thing will turn thick and creamy all on its own. When it's the consistency you like, take it off the heat, spoon it into bowls, and dust the top with a little ground cinnamon or nutmeg. You can eat it warm right away, which is my favorite way, or let it cool and eat it cold from the fridge, which some people swear is even better. Now, the sugar and the whole milk mean this isn't something you'd eat every night if you're watching your waistline. But the milk does give you calcium, which matters for bone health as you get older, and it gives you a feeling of comfort and warmth that, honestly, no vitamin tablet will ever replace. Once in a while, the healthiest thing you can do is eat something that makes you feel like everything's going to be all right. Rice pudding has been doing that for 1,000 years, and it's not about to stop now. Every rice meal on this list was chosen because it does what good food has always done. It feeds the body, it warms the spirit, and it turns something as humble as a bag of rice into a reason to sit down, take a breath, and enjoy your evening. None of these recipes requires anything fancy. None of them takes more than 30 minutes. And every one of them proves that the simplest ingredients, in the right hands, make the most satisfying meals. A pot of rice on the stove is one of the oldest sounds in any kitchen. And these 5 meals are a reminder of why it's still one of the best.